Afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here. This is AESOP second session, right?
Yep.
And so I do appreciate your time here. I think we left off last time with, you ended with caucus, right?
We ended with the caucus, correct.
Yeah, so I have a few things just to go over, since we have some counters for what you guys went through. First, I just want to start off by saying that overall, the proposal that we put on the table before any of our counters today is a 10.4% package, right, with the recurring increase plus the bonus. And I know there are some, you asked for, I believe it was a $2 to $3 increase for the the assistant behavioral physical needs for medically complex. We have a proposal here for a $2.25 increase, so 25 cents, similar to what you saw in SEIU. So, for those of you who aren't part of that, we brought in the same proposal for SEIU because these are similar jobs, actually the same job really, in different bargaining units, so we can't pay one a different rate than we would pay the other. So $2.25, while 25 cents may not sound like a lot per hour, it is. It's actually very expensive for this. So that is our counter there. On the paraprofessionals assigned to emotionally behavioral disordered EBD self-contained units, you asked for $1.25 to go to $2, and we agree with that. And that while that's 75 cents, there's just fewer of them, so it doesn't cost as much. Where jumping that much for the other was hundreds of thousands of dollars. I also wanted to point out that on the health room designee, I don't know if it was your language or ours, but it came through as I think it was yours, was 700. The MOU that we did is actually for 750, so we just adjusted it to 750, so.
Well, no, it's just reducing to writing what had already been agreed.
Right. The number, the amount was just off, so I just wanted to make sure, because we went through it in the last negotiation, that on record we established the amount that it will be paid, $750. So. Okay. With that, I'll turn it over to you to see what you came up with your team.
No, I mean, so I obviously went through this with SEIU bargaining just an hour and a half ago or so. Our desire is, I think we illustrated that when we talked. We did initially counter a 10% across the board increase for our bargaining unit that included no bonuses. I know when you referenced the 10.4 package, that does include obviously the 3% bonus.
Yes.
We seek, similar to that the district reached an agreement with the CTA, as obviously expressed during SEIU bargaining. No different here. We're trying to get our people to that 7% magic number in our particular base wage increase. That's effectively the desire of our group, recognizing that you did reference before the referendum as far as classroom teachers is completely tethered. The arrangements around referendum are tethered to only being able to be spent regarding classroom instruction and some other components of like
security and
yep.
Wellness.
Yep. Yeah. While that might necessarily not be specifically allocated out of that bucket, we do recognize that that is its own sort of funding source. My sort of back of the envelope estimation in terms of AESOP as a bargaining unit and how basically what the distance between getting from our desire for a 7% to the district's current offer, which if we were taking the AESOP total payroll right now about almost $54 million of personnel, and applying that each additional percent is just about 540,000. The district's current proposal, before you had discussed the additional stipends and the EBD and the additional quarter for the stipend as referenced, it puts us the distance from the union's desire from a 7% and the district's offer of a 5% across the board, we're about $1,080,000 apart in terms of that rough back of the envelope, not considering the 30% for FICA and everything else. So, that is our desire, to do as much as we possibly can to get into that 7% magic number. That's the distance between the district's package proposal to us. And we still seek that. We want the board to go back and take a look at, can we provide this as a component for our bargaining unit by January 1st? Now, and I do want to point out, as I pointed out during SAIU bargaining, that the teachers obviously are going to get retroactivity back to their original contract date, while the AESOP and the SEIU agreements all start January 1st, where the district is effectively not having to extrapolate a 7% total cost over the course of the full fiscal year. It instead will be, over the last 6 months, maybe 6 months full time of the fiscal year. So you're looking at total package cost, since it starts in January rather than going back to, say, July or August, that it's going to be effectively a lot less than a 7% in terms of payroll. Now, it would be a cost going forward, of course. Nobody can deny that. But I wanted to make sure that was entered into the record for consideration. I know we had also sought some changes in our proposal on the educational incentive, and I know that you didn't refer to them.
I did not. We are at status quo on that.
The district isn't willing right now to put that in there. I mean, I know I'll say this, we're always going to seek across the board base wage increases as our main component. As you would understand, it's the most beneficial to our membership, and obviously going to be the most difficult to always move year to year to year, because those costs do compound. But based on the inflation rate, not enjoyed by people who live in Palm Beach County, over the past 12 months, which is about 8.5%, 9%, we think we're making a proposal that would help the district retain and recruit people to come work here.
Sure. So I recognize the need. This has never been a district's desire to pay. It's really the ability to pay. And I know you might look at it as, well, it's 6 months, but these increases, they add up, and over time, we went to bat here to, when the budget first came out, with the money that we got from the state, our funding gave us less than 3% for wage increases to employees. Our superintendent, our board, our CFO really fought. We didn't want to put that on the table. That wasn't an option. She found 5%, which is 1.5% more than we did last year. A really nice raise, we think, and it's just not easy, because we're funded by the state, and if the state doesn't increase their funding, then it's really difficult for us to sustain that. And it might not look like right now we might be able to afford it, but you have to think long term of all the compounding of these raises. We have to be responsible with how we do raises. Teachers were offered a larger increase this year. Our MBU, our principals, assistant principals, they all got 5%. That has already gone to the board. They're not getting more than the teachers. There have been, and like you said, that is tied to the referendum. In 2022, AESOP received a recurring increase of 9.6%. Recurring increase of 9.6%. That's when we went to $15 minimum. Teachers received a 3.5%. And when we went to the $15 an hour minimum, we didn't just take whatever money the state gave us and go to $15. The district had to put a lot of money in there to bring other people along, so that we just didn't have all these compressed pay levels. So that's something that we did, and over the last 9 years, AESOP has been approximately 36% increase, right? That's their pay is increased by 36%. that's higher than teachers, that's higher than MBU, that's higher than principals, that's higher than APs. Every year, we can't tackle, all the problems with wages that we want to. We can't tackle compression some years just because it would take an incredible amount of money. We're trying to. We think this is a really great deal. We think that if we are able to reach a deal soon, we can get the bonus paid out before the holidays. But as far as going back for more money, that's just not something we're able to do. So we didn't come out with a lesser raise than we were approved by the board to spend. So we have met with the board on 2 occasions now about collective bargaining. They're fully aware of this, and we all believe that this is a great raise. When we look around the state, the other districts aren't giving raises like this to all employees. Teachers this year across the state have been getting a little bit more, but a lot of them, from what I understand, are tied to referendum funds. I know Miami-Dade's is significantly. So, I'd love to say that, yeah, we're going to come in here and give 7% across the board. I just can't do that. I don't have that. So I think we need to find a way to come up with something, if it's tiering like we did last year or something like that. But the pot of money is the pot of money we have. That's it.
No, I mean, and I think I stated this during the SEIU bargaining. It's like we appreciate to the level that when the district has come back, especially since you've been chief negotiator, that we were not playing the okey doke of come in at 2.5 and then we'll reach up to this, right? We appreciate that. And I think that obviously it helps expedite the process for both of us in that regard. I will say, absolutely true in terms of referendum money. I know Pinellas is a big component of the bargaining there, Miami-Dade. These are all places that absolutely have a special, designated fund source that is meant for teacher pay. And I recognize that while we every year are going to, I'll say this, I will use any argument, whether it's an argument to more than the teachers, less than the teachers, what have you. I'm going to make the arguments to get our people the most money.
I understand. That's your role.
That's my role. I mean, part of it's also like we recognize that the district cannot, we 100% recognize the district cannot fix sort of the sins of the past. And I say the sins of the past is really a legislative move, right? We're like, I think 47th out of 50.
46, I believe 46, but actually I heard 48th recently. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not good.
I agree.
Right?
And I do that, and that forces us all to kind of squeeze as much as we possibly can out of a smaller pie than we should be, right?
Right.
That's a true statement of where we're at in bargaining anywhere in the state of Florida right now. I think that what we're seeking is more of a, we recognize this. I don't think it's a quote unquote bad or disrespectful offer on behalf of Palm Beach schools. Would not even pretend that that's the case. However, what we seek is to do more within that framework, because while what we're hearing is, yes, this teacher's got a 7 and obviously the one-time payment component there. The district cannot overextend itself for SEIU, for AESOP, for any of the groups that we're talking about. But can we do better than that amount? And I think that the answer would be yes on our end, is to go back to the school board and figure out what is that number, which we think we can get to a 7%, knowing that it might lead to a cost containment issue in fiscal year 24, 25, as we still face all these, legislative hurdles we have. And say you had a statement you want to make? Oh, here. Mike. Turn it on. Sorry.
You said 36%, but that's 36% from a much lower level. And I think that's what we're getting here. It's saying, well, you got 36% more raise, but it's like 36% starting from $10, and for some of these people starting from $10 an hour,
Well, it is important to also recognize that the market dictates what jobs are paid, how much jobs earn, right? Not, you don't see somebody, well, this group pays, this job 50,000 and all the other jobs pay 25,000. The district adjusts its pay to the market. So when we see and we're always looking at, Mark's team is always reviewing the market to make sure we're at market, if not better, and doing things we need to do to make sure that we get there when we're not. So we do that at the bargaining table. We do that outside of bargaining. So I understand what you're saying, but keep in mind, the district was one of the leaders in the superintendent in pushing for the state to give us funding to get to $15 per hour. They went to the state to push for that it was necessary. There were a lot of jobs that were paying that much, but that's what the jobs were paying. And if you look across the market, a lot of jobs are probably still paying less than that. Those who weren't part of what we had to increase to, they're not paying, significantly higher. Maybe they've made some adjustments, but it's not as though just because, this paid less, then we should be raising it at different rates. We use the market to determine where we're going with their salaries.
Other comments from my side? Any questions? Any clarification needed from either what I've stated or the district stated today? I mean, I'll also want to take a caucus, but. Oh, do you get the mic on? Sorry.
I feel we run the school, and if it wasn't for us, wouldn't nothing get done, because we like a classroom teacher too. They send the kids down there to us. So I've been in the district 19 years, and I'm barely over $15.
Understood.
So the
I'm
board
not.
needs to understand that we run the school, and they need to look at us as the teacher as well, because if the teachers, they send the kids down to us, they don't did something to the kids, or the kids don't done something, the parent come to us and want to beat us. So I think we need a raise like that.
I understand. I think though, as a I don't know where we go from here, because we have been to the board twice. This isn't something where it's, we're not aware of what we're doing, or something like that. We're fully aware of what we're putting down on the table, and we think it's a great offer. I don't know. I don't see us going back to the board for more money. That's not really on the table.
I mean, that would be that would be us telling you to, hey, let's figure out, is there a pathway to get to that 7%? Because I think that for our end would absolutely alleviate much of the concerns.
From what I've been told, the answer is no.
Yeah. So. From my side, any other questions, comments on the district's counter-proposal and discussion on that? But obviously, I do want to caucus and have the room in advance of coming back. But I think we probably will be able to come back today. I just want to give ourselves some time.
Okay, we'll give you some time.